So here's the project. The goals, can it be done, and is it profitable? We have some researchers in the room that may question, are we gone too far there? Can we actually do that? We have some seed representatives in the room that say we've got some seeds on the horizon. We may not be able to get there exactly today. We've got some seeds coming. But we're gonna study this and see what we can do. Next slide. Here's some of the information that we have today. This is from the Agri-Partner Program. This is from 2009. 99 through 2007. So already some of this data is getting, not saying that it's getting out of date, but maybe there's better hybrids, maybe there's current data, so that will be part of what we're studying. So let's go back and look where we were. Those are the counties in our water district. We do have some data, I don't have it with me, that just does 05 through 07, and a lot of that data looks real similar to this. What that basically says, over on the left-hand side, there's your irrigation water that was applied. Here's your rainfall and your soil. All of these, where these data was taken, had moisture blocks of 1 foot, 2 foot, and 3 foot. Here's the percent of PET, and here's the production. Now when I do a sort of a water budget on my farm, I look at this column right here. We're going to need somewhere between 32 and possibly 35 inches for a fully irrigated crop. All of that isn't going to come from irrigation. So if you subtract this from this, then the remainder is what comes from rainfall and soil moisture. We know from long-term rainfall reports that we can expect around 10 inches of moisture during the growing season from rain. So if you take Dallas County, we've got 28 inches total, 19 inches of irrigation. That means 8.47 came from rainfall and soil moisture. Hartley County, 8.24 inches. Sherman County, 11.29 inches. Now, I told you we expect about 10 inches from rainfall. We also, if we have Pullman soil, we call it the profile, we can expect 2 inches per foot of profile. So in a normal year, if we've got 4 foot of profile, there's another 8 inches that's available for use. Some of this, as we start getting above this 8 inches, some of this is going to be, you might not necessarily get the full 10 inches, so some of this is going to be coming out of the soil. You go to Moore County, 8.5 inches. Hansford, almost 11 inches. Hutchinson, 13 inches. Ochiltree, 14, almost 14.5 inches. So in Ochiltree County, we're up there pushing that 35, 36 inches of total water used by that corn crop. We've got a respectable yield out here, 235 bushels. But we used almost 14.5 inches from rainfall and soil moisture. Lipscomb County, we put a little bit less water on, but we used almost 18 inches. We know the farther east we go on the east side of the district, we get more water. We know on the west side of the district, we have higher altitudes, And the water, we get less water. The irrigation, all of that is more efficient, the higher altitudes and the cooler nights. So our demonstrations, we think need to be all the way across the district so we can answer these questions. Another thing we think is this data that you see here, this PET weather station data, those come from the weather stations. There's not necessarily a weather station in every county, but they're scattered across our district, and that's where that data comes from. Further, some other studies that I've seen, it looks like that about 85% of PET, we're on the verge of going into stress, but at 85% may be about the cutoff that we are not really completely stressing that plant and maybe not talking about drastic yield losses. Some of these newer hybrids, we're expecting to try to get some help from the Texas Corn Board, maybe some help from Monsanto and Pioneer, some other seed companies on some of their latest technology to put in these. The researcher, you mentioned Winway, he has some real promising hybrids that we're hoping to get our hands on too. Next slide. Actually, that slide back there, when we look at the production, we're also going to put the economics to this. We have to ask the question, say we do use less water, we use less fertilizer, we use less seed. The second part of our goal was, is it profitable? So we are going to do some economics, and we're going to, it's not necessarily the highest yield, but can we stay economical viable? Okay, next slide. Now, all I want to point out to you on this is, remember I told you 80% of the irrigation water that we apply in our district is on a corn-wheat rotation. That's what that would look like. 63% of the water, of the total water, is for corn. So we know there's some producers that are using continuous corn. Then the remainder is cotton, grain sorghum, soybeans, sunflowers, and there's some grazing activities going on. But we think these are the demonstrations, these are the type of producers that we're going to be looking for to do our studies. We're having a board meeting Monday. Our full board is going to be looking at this proposal. We're going to get into more details. We need your input. We'll have some time for discussion, and tell me what you think. We know that we're going to need our county agents. Nick, we're going to need help getting this stuff out. We're going to need some help getting some producers identified, and we need to work together on this project.